welcome to Turn Up the Tech, another episode in our podcast series. I'm Mark Taylor, Commercial Director of Envision, and I'm joined here by Ian Mulry, our cinema sales specialist for, I suppose, one of our Insider series. A bit of a delve into Ian Mulry. How you doing, Ian? You all right?
Good, yeah, very good.
Excellent.
It feels a bit weird being in here doing this and not doing what I normally do in here,
Yeah.
but this is unusual.
But I've got to say, this is a lot more comfortable than what I'm used to. You know, where we've been, crammed in some room with some... Yeah, these seats are much better. It's a definite improvement, Ian.
Good.
Improvement.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm feeling very comfortable here at the moment. So, I can
Don't forget the
get
recline.
used to this.
Don't forget the recline.
I'll leave that for a bit.
Yeah.
We'll see how this goes, and we might get to reclining stage. Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, Insider series. So I think we spoke to another one of our colleagues, Steve Totterdale, which was a very interesting insight last time round, and I think you've got a very interesting insight as well. Ian, so not to big you up too much.
I didn't play Coachella.
Yeah. Oh no, you didn't play Coachella. No. Oh, that's a disappointment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I'm sure we can create something interesting.
Yeah.
So
I've won Crestron Awards, but I haven't won. Didn't win Coachella.
Oh, there you go. We don't say that. No, so I'm joking. Yeah. So look, I think one of the ideas of this part is to get a bit more of an insight. We are, just to point out to everyone, we are in our amazing demo room in Innovation House in Bracknell, and gives us an opportunity to just get a bit more of insight. Normally, what happens is people come in and they'll see you in here, and we'll talk business and everything like that, and some of the other bits get missed, do they? And I think this is quite important. So I like this. It's a good opportunity to get some of that out. And I know particularly this particular room here is your sort of labour of love, I think is the way to put it. And I think to explain that a bit, I mean, when did you join us?
6 years ago.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
And you joined us as regional sales manager, didn't you? So joined that, and then this facility came about when we moved into Innovation House as a group, and we were searching around for demo rooms. It feels like I spent my life searching around for the ideal demo room, and then this group facility came up, and then that's when really your role changed, and we discussed, and you said, what a fantastic opportunity, and we all got excited about this, and really you I suppose this is your baby, isn't it? You picked it up from being nothing.
Well, when we first came here, it was a metal shed with a concrete stairwell, and you could see the back door. Can you remember that?
And it was
stood up with Kevin. It was freezing cold. It was February.
I mean,
there was no windows, nothing. Just a metal shed, no doors, just a metal shed. Yeah, you see the ceiling.
I didn't think there was a floor in, was there?
No, we were standing on rubble here.
Yeah,
there was no concrete floor.
Yeah, that was it, because this whole building was brand new as well. So it was amazingly difficult to visualise what was going on here and what we were trying to create. But I tell you, a bit before that, then let's because it is an Insider series. So let's give tell me a bit about the background, because you've prior to Envision, you've been in the industry a while.
About, I don't know, probably 17, 18 years maybe. I owned an aerial company. In fact, I sold soft toys for a living some time ago. I've done a lot of different jobs. I got made redundant, and way previous selling soft toys, I worked for Sky as a dish donkey. So aerials and dish donkey sort of thing was a mix. And the only thing I could really do was fit aerials, so I started an aerial company, and it was a very successful business. I ended up working for an AV company doing their aerial work, and they asked me one day if I could go to site and help them put some speakers, because they were desperate for some manpower. I took the opportunity. It was at the Jumeirah Hotel in London.
All right.
There were 3 big active Aerons in the car park. I can remember the job like yesterday. It was a reception audio system. Went in with them for the day, did the work, went really well. It's quite exciting. It's much better than walking on roofs. And that sort of snowballed from there, really. Before I knew it, I wasn't doing any more aerial work, and I was doing more and more subcontract AV work.
Yeah.
That integrator introduced me to other integrators. I did more and more work for subcontract work. I had my own business for a while, but it was so difficult to try and win the business from being nowhere at that time. It was, in fact, I wish the Smart Homey Ben Davies thing had been around back then, because I might have been more successful. But
that's definitely, having both been in the industry for a while, not to big Ben up too much. I'm sure he doesn't need that. But that you can see that community's building and the tools. It definitely
it was so hard to get a foot in the industry at that point. So I just continued subcontracting. I took employment with a couple of companies, proper full-time employment. Towards the end, I was just tired of driving like at 5 a.m. into London, working till 8 o'clock at night, driving home. My personal life had taken a turn as well, and I just wanted to get out of the industry, to be fair. And then I one day left in my 3 months' notice at my job, and Peter Alloway called me and said, "Am I still looking for a job?" Because I'd interviewed at Envision for a role that Nick Osborne took.
Yeah.
So
I know.
Basically, he's what it is.
So he's not a bad guy.
Maybe the best guy. Maybe the best guy got the right job at the time.
Yeah.
So Peter rang me and said, "Are you still looking for a job? We have an opening. You might be the right person." And rather than give up work, sell my house and go travelling, I joined Envision.
So you were just about to get out of the industry, and we
just about walk out.
Back in.
Yeah, just about walk out.
Sorry about that.
And the RSM role was great, and the customer support thing I did in the middle was great. But this is definitely building cinema, or not building cinema, but designing cinema and talking cinema and selling cinema. It's by far and away the best role I think I've ever had in my life. It's just selling fun. It's great.
I try to think how we sort of came about it. So we were looking for a demo facility. We'd been looking for ages, and obviously being based in sort of east of the country, we weren't in quite east in the country, north and east. We weren't in a great location, and I remember I travelled around loads of these opportunities we had for this room here and that room here, but we were always so remote, and it was unmanned, and it was so difficult to try and find the right place. And I think we got down to nearly signing the terms on one place, and then that fell through right at the last moment. And then what happened was, as part of our group, the two businesses that were in the sort of Berkshire area were looking to pull together and create something. They were looking to create something bigger, and I think so. We had a business in Crowthorne and a business in Reading, and there was this thing going on with, we can really create something here and create something bigger, and then that became a real opportunity. And then I think all of a sudden it was really real, wasn't it? So after again, I think the business looked at lots of facilities, and it's difficult to make that decision of finding, and they're not small, insignificant.
No. This was an investment, just this room in this building, let alone the whole building.
Absolutely. So it's a major deal. And then I think, from a memory, it just suddenly all of a sudden got real. And I think that's when we started having conversations. Yeah. We said, well, okay, you're enjoying this job here, but actually, given your experience, you had been at the coalface on some really high-end cinemas that you'd worked with, in your integrated days. And it just felt right, didn't it? And so we said, okay, well, change of role time.
Absolutely.
And we just went for it. And I think we pretty much went, well, there you go, Ian. Here's an empty shell.
And a big bag of money.
Yeah,
here's a big bag of money. Yeah. Here's an empty shell. Sure. Go and build what you can. And to be honest, with having the backing of all the manufacturers as well, everyone was really happy and willing to give you everything they could to make it the best it could be. We've still got some compromises in the room which we can't get around from building constraints, but it is definitely the best it can be with all the manufacturer support.
But isn't that life, right?
Absolutely.
There's always a compromise.
Yeah, there is always compromises. As long as you can live with those compromises and you can explain why they're compromised, then it is what it is. But to be honest with you, the way we have it now, it doesn't sound compromised in here.
No,
it's a very satisfying.
Talk about it. This was really unusual because this was a commercial build, wasn't it?
Yep.
That's what it is. It's a commercial building.
Yeah.
Commercial build. So we had commercial contractors in here, which we talked about. Interesting to deal with, and yeah, just what you had to work around it, and and like I say, you had to visualize something that was this thing that was a shell with no floor or anything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was literally just like I say, when we came here, it was February, coats, wind, rain, wellies. It was just building site.
it was hard to imagine this.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I think it was interesting to talk through, because I think that it is quite an interesting. Well, I hope it's an interesting story about how we did it. So where did we start? We did have help on design, didn't we? We did have help with some acoustic design, and we paid for.
Yeah. We know acoustic analysis on the drawings of the room, and
and what did that give us?
That gave they gave us the acoustic analysis of the room and how it would perform, and then gave us the layout for the acoustics in the room to assist that. And obviously we have Trinov in here as well, which optimizes the room totally with their room optimizer software. But
I think in this particular instance, that was really important to pay the money and go have that acoustical analysis, because again we were dealing with, no disrespect to them, we were dealing with commercial building contractors, so we literally had to say, here it is, build this, didn't we?
But they still, they built the shell, so the room itself is a building within the building. So we are completely disconnected from the rest of the building here. Right. The only part of the building we're connected to is the floor. It's a completely different structure inside, and they still, being commercial builders, didn't get it. And they didn't understand, because they've just not been in that environment of high net worth individuals.
Yeah.
And they didn't understand what we were looking to deliver as an end product. Even the carpet, they wanted to put office carpet tiles in there. They just didn't. They just didn't.
Story.
Yeah, they just didn't get it. They wanted to. They came in with 2 tiles and said, which colour do you want? And I had to go out to Carpet Right and find the carpet which they then laid. So they didn't understand the concept. And fortunately, because I have had that experience of high net worth individuals and being in expensive homes and boats and stuff, the finish you need to look for. And then, obviously the design of the room, it's a black box. And for me, as a demo facility, I mean, it's my perfect room. If this was in my house, this was exactly what I was like. Yeah. And it was interesting hearing, I was listening to another podcast this week where somebody was describing their perfect room would be more decorative, and they want to sit in a nice decorative room, which I totally get that. It's horses for courses. Everyone's different, but
I remember having those conversations with you, because you came to me and said, I think we need to go plain and simple here. So we are a trade facility.
Yep.
Ultimately, yes, we are encouraging our customers to bring their clients along, and we're impressing from that point of view. But principally, we're a trade facility and a trade tool. So, you wanted, there was a look to it as well. There was a plain, simple look, but also I think that was in the back of the mind as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because otherwise we're trying to tailor to taste, and that's a difficult thing to do.
It's really easy to walk into a room and dislike it before you've even heard or seen anything.
Yeah.
Just by walking into the room, you get a feel for the room. When you come in here, there's not a lot to dislike. There are interior designers that come in and dislike it because it's not interior designed and they wouldn't be able to earn their money. But it's very much, you can hear it's acoustically treated. But once the lights are off, you're not looking at what's around you. We want everyone to concentrate on what they're hearing and what they're seeing on the screen in here. So it was not about having a beautifully decorated room. And we get a lot of feedback. It's gone really well. The amount of our customers, I've given the link to our fabric for is nobody. Wow. At least once a week, somebody says, "Where can I buy this fabric?" Which, incidentally, it has now been discontinued. But it's a really nice fabric. And again, I built
a price. Yeah, no, I'm joking.
All right. Again, I built a cinema with this exact fabric, probably 14 years ago for a client in Harpenden, and she actually went out and found the fabric. So she went away, found it. We had it tested for acoustic transparency, and at the time it was in thin width. So her room is vertical pattern, but when I went to buy it, it's now available in wide width. So we have got clean walls and no joins or anything. So just makes the room more boxy. But as I say, it's not everybody's choice. But I think as a commercial facility, we've got it right because we're trying to show people the equipment and not the design.
I think, yeah, we needed a form of neutral, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I like this. This works really well, and it is, ultimately, definitely, our goal here is about the performance, right?
Absolutely.
That's principally what we've got to deal with. But yeah. So I remember that being one of your key focuses. This is what I want. And definitely delivered that in here. The other bit I think is a really cool idea that you did was the lighting of the speaker.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
So again, we wanted to be able to. Well, the idea originally was to use it and show it in training and cinema build training. So we had a lot of help from Trinov with speaker placement in here. They have a white paper that they wrote. I don't know when Arno Labray wrote it, but it's been around for some time. They helped us a lot with speaker placement to make it right, which it's interesting that a lot of that white paper has now been adopted by RP22. So the new RP22 paper, a lot of the speaker placement looks very, very similar to the Trinov white paper. So for a training aspect, when dealers come in and they want to talk about speaker placement, and we've got a lot of dealers in our industry. Some are really well versed, really capable. They can design cinemas, really good at it. Other people in the industry don't have as much education, so it's really good as an educational piece to be able to light up our speakers in the walls and say, this is where your wires should be, this is where your surrounds should be, and show people where we've laid the speakers out in the room. It's really important.
So what you do is you've got a preset button.
Button with a
light it up.
Yeah,
here's the speaker position, and you do it in all the different formats. Then
when we first set out, we were going to do it so that speakers came in when we talked about them on a video, but it is just the lights come on, the lights go off, the speakers light up, and we talk about their positions. And it's also a nice wow factor when you get an end user in here and they go, wow, this is amazing, but you can't see any speakers. And then you do turn the
what do you get for your money?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then they go, oh wow, that's really amazing. You can see what is making the sound.
Yeah.
So yeah,
this is why it costs what it costs.
Yeah, it's a really good feature. Yeah, it's a really good feature. Yeah, it worked really well.
And obviously you do Trinov training from this room. It wasn't always this way, was it? Because we did some classroom stuff and then, but this just feels. I think we shrunk the class courses, didn't we?
We did
to make it so we can get it in here.
So again, when I first started, looking after Trinov in a way, we were doing classes where you could just sign on to a class and come and do it, and then you're approved, and 4 years later you might get an opportunity to sell a Trinov and you know what you're doing. Yeah. So we've now tailored that so that if you have a Trinov opportunity, you can do your training just before that opportunity, so it's all fresh in your head. And we train in smaller classes, but a long time ago I used to traipse all over the country with a truck full of speakers and amplifiers and set it up in a temporary room. But it's nicer to train in here because it's all here already, and we can just use the system that's already in the room. And you sit in comfort, and it's just simpler. And a smaller group is a lot better as well. You get a lot more focus.
And it's more enticing from the person that's being trained as well. They feel more comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we've done dealer specific events where we've had some dealers who have said we want to train all our staff. So, for instance, we had enough staff from one company that we filled more than the seats we had available.
Right.
So we had 9 people in here that I trained about 4 or 5 weeks ago, which is great. And that's dedication from the company, right? They want all their staff trained to deploy Trinov. So, and the training goes through connectivity as well as the programming and the calibration. So so I think it's really good that they brought all of their staff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So we love hosting people here, don't we? So and it is more engaging. We still, I think, we've still been out at times and done demos and things like that. And we can take it to people, but it is more engaging if it's done here. But I think what's interesting as well, and I suppose everyone always listens to the good feedback, and maybe not the other feedback always, but I got to say, at the moment, the feedback on this room, particularly sound-wise, is amazing. We're getting it. But, let's be honest, it doesn't happen overnight, does it? And so when was it? So mid-2019 this went in. We didn't get it right straight away. okay, did you do you, let's be, you have to be open and honest and say, and it's interesting. I've seen the evolution of it over there, and so the fabric walls are the same and some things, but actually, it really takes, it doesn't stop, does it? And it doesn't stop here either, does it? We have to keep doing it. We've got a new screen coming in soon.
New screen next week. Yeah.
These seats are new as of 4 months, 5 months, 6 something like that.
Projector.
Yeah,
got to play. Matt VR coming very soon. Exciting stuff.
Absolutely. So, but it evolves. But also, we've learned here, haven't we?
Yeah,
we've learned. We've made some tweaks. I mean, Trinov have been here countless times, haven't they?
Yeah.
So, and we're always learning every time, and sort of tweaking all the time. But it's sort of, I think it's underestimated. It's not just once, is it?
No. It's a constantly evolving thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with any demo room. Any integrator that tells you they've got a demo room is constantly tweaking it, changing it, replacing kit. It's just part of how it is, and you have to do that. It's a added expense to your business. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I think probably my learning curve, my sins holding some purse strings, is that you think, I've done it now.
Yeah.
Done. Job done. Paid the money. Done that. But actually, it's never done, is it?
No,
it's never.
No.
It's never.
And as we know, after ISE this year, there's going to be more changes coming at some point later in the year. So
these manufacturers keep spending our budget, don't
they? Yeah. Keep bringing out new tech, and we keep having to deploy it.
So I think the other interesting thing for me is, and watching you do this over the years, is it's so right. You built the room. It's a bit like write the theme song. Right, but actually, then you've got to deliver a presentation, and I've seen the evolution of your delivering presentations, and not that it was bad in the first place, but it's really enhanced now,
and the evolution of the hardware for delivering. It was in the early days. It was what can we do? How can we make this work? And then you have to take the plunge and go for the best to make it the best it can be. And we do now have a great facility to be able to show the best content the best ways. And like you say, it's getting the right content, the right clips that show the technology off to its best ability. And cinematic clips are what make it happen.
I like coming down here when you're here and you'll go, I've got a new clip. I've just found a new clip. I was watching this at the weekend, and then I thought, that's going to be an awesome clip for this. And
so we have got a new clip in here at the moment. So I went to Albury Cinema out on the Norfolk coast. It's a little tiny commercial cinema.
Wow,
it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I do visit commercial, nice little niche commercial cinemas because I love cinema. I hate proper commercial cinema. But Albury Cinema is a Trinov cinema, so it's got an Ovation 2 in it. It does sound amazing, and it's very pretty. But we watched Babylon there. And Mel will tell you it was 3 hours of her life she'll never get back. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. But one of the opening clips from that is just fantastic. And the trumpets and the sax and the dancing, everything about it is just really good. And I employed it here, and Nick Osborne is over the moon that it's on there. He really likes it. However, Peter Biggin, not so keen on it. So it's subjective, right? It? Yeah, subjective, but there is something in there for everybody, and it's various genres of movie to be able to show what it's about.
So for you, I think in your presenting of it, it's building up your knowledge of the right clips. So you talk to the integrator, or the integrator might bring their client, and you talk to them. So you're trying to understand that, and then you're dialing into your database of what's the right clip for this.
So Nick Osborne had a guy came in the other day with a 12-year-old child. Now we, on our general demo clips, we run A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
It's a pretty scary movie, right?
Yeah.
So he was like, can we remove that? So I had to
And maybe we didn't do John Wick. No.
Didn't do John Wick. So we had to rearrange the demo clips to have as good quality to show the room off, but not using our prime quality, clips that we're using all the time. So it's if a dealer comes in and says, I've got this, I want that, and right at the very opening when we first opened this, I had a dealer come in, and he said his customer's really into pink. Everything is pink in the house. So we turned all the LED pink for the day. She came in, loved it. She wanted it. She bought the room just because it looked pink. Okay, that goes against my we're not selling stuff, but it was something we could do for them to make it work.
Yeah, no, I love that. I thought one of your interesting clips was Monster Calls.
That's
because
really good.
That is not a mainstream film, is it at all?
No, not at all.
And actually, we might be giving away too much here, but
it's very good.
Really good. Particularly, obviously, with Trinov doing what Trinov does best. You know, that clip that you've got there where he's scribbling on the paper. That's sensational, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we're only showing that it's only HD content. Isn't it?
It's 1080p. Yeah, 1080p. And people are always, when you say, because when that clip was we do mix it up regularly. So when that clip was in every demo we did, people would get to the end and say, that was amazing. What was that film called? And you start talking about it. And then you say to them, well, it's actually only 1080p. It's not 4K. And they go, what?
Yeah.
Really? So it's 1080p. So it's 1080p footage. But the soundtrack to that is, phenomenal. It's very good. It's also DTS, which, as much as Dolby is amazing, DTS detail is always so much better. I don't know why, it just is, and that DTS.
Well, we launched this place with DTS, didn't we?
DTS
all about.
Yeah,
that's unreal.
Yeah,
DTS were launching DTS
X Pro,
X Pro, weren't they? Yeah, X Pro, and the guys from DTS came in and they launched with us. Didn't we do?
We were the European. We were the first European demo of DTS X Pro.
Yeah.
So.
And obviously, we were doing it in this room, and so I did think another one. I started watching at home. I started watching the Elvis.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then it was the bit where he's at the start. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. No.
Oh, right.
Again,
so,
I films like that, I won't watch it anywhere else until I can watch it.
So I got 5 minutes in. I went, I'm going to have to stop.
Yeah.
I said, I can't do this. And the kids were running around. So they were, anyway. But so I said, I'm going to have to stop. I can't watch this here. I can't watch this at home.
No,
so I think a sales meeting down here is
absolutely.
And,
is
it on?
It's available. Yeah, it's available.
Excellent. Because there was some, I think, particularly with Mad VR, I reckon that's awesome. Some of the imagery on it is really good. Obviously, the sound is going to be pretty good. So that's one for that.
Okay, we'll see that.
And my other, I do like the other favourite that you picked out, which actually has inspired our next Envision Flicks, is Baby Driver.
Right, yeah.
You do a bit of clips of Baby Driver.
It's just swapped over to a James Bond clip, but
is it? But
it's a regular, regular all the time.
I mean, just great soundtrack and some great features there. But,
that's good.
But
and obviously Maverick. Nobody in the business watched Maverick until we could watch it in here. Peter Alloway. There were lots of people who went, I'm not going anywhere else to watch that. I'm watching it at Bracknell.
Here's the problem: this ruins conventional commercial cinema, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I think there is you can go to some of the boutique ones now, and that is the only thing I would do. I'd only go to the boutique ones now, and it's not quite as good, but it's an experience in itself, isn't it? Going there and doing it, but. Yeah, it totally and utterly ruins commercial cinema, doesn't it?
The last film I watched in commercial cinema was the last James Bond film that came out. And I watched it in I can't remember if I watched it in an IMAX cinema or I watched it in a Dolby cinema. It was one or the other. I watched one in one and another film in another very soon after, or just before. And it was the opening of the James Bond film. The first hour is just action, and one after the other. And within 45 minutes, it was so fatiguing. I was so tired of listening to the sound, the harshness in there. I just wanted to get out. It was awful, and I've not been back to a commercial, non-boutique commercial cinema since. I just don't enjoy it.
No, I can't.
We're very spoiled.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. So all sales meetings here. Just
if only we lived in the Southern Hemisphere. Commercial cinema down there is a lot better, right?
Yeah. Well, that tees on nicely to our speaker partner fix, isn't it? So and nicely tees on to an event that we're running here in a couple of weeks' time.
13th, 14th.
Over that, isn't it? 13th, 14th of June, which we're calling Committed to Cinema, where we're opening the doors. But it's not just opening the doors to our cinema that you can see every day. It's far more than that. We, if anybody who's been to this facility will know, it's a shared facility we have with our group. So they've got lots of really cool LED products and things going, but we do a takeover of this facility where we're able to light up the other features in here and light them up with our brands and show lots of other cool things happening. There's some cool R&D areas in the background which we take over, and you get your saw out and start creating again.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about what we're creating.
For the event, in R&D 2, we are going to create a room with MX5 running, and the new Screen Innovation Maestro 2.
Oh yeah, that'll be cool.
Screen to be out there. That'll be a really hands-on affair where you can look at how the MX5 is installed, how it's built. It's going to be running I think it's 5.2.2 or 5.1.2 with 2 subwoofers.
And it's also showing what you can do at an amazing price point.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the thing. It's a budget system at a good price point. Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be, and that'll have a Sony 5000 projector with it. R&D, we're doing a very large format LED from our sister company, like very, very large format LED with some great Crick sound around it. That's also going to be 5.2 maybe. I can't think how many subs going on that. 5.1 with 2 subs. We've got luxury living room, which we're putting together. We've got representation from Screen Innovation, from cinema modules, from audio control. Surgex are going to be here. Middle Atlantic, Netgear,
Good Food.
Good Food. Super Mario, right?
Oh,
Super Mario competition.
Yeah, we're going to have a Super Mario.
Yeah, retro gaming.
We're going to go, all these people with their racing sims and all that, we're going to go Proper Super Mario.
Retro game, right?
With maybe a prize award for the winner. Yeah,
fastest lap.
So
yeah, that'd be cool. So it should be a really good couple of
days. For me, what's really a highlight is our speaker partner is Cricks, who are a long, who are sort of really established manufacturer in this commercial cinema, particularly in some of the hemisphere, as you alluded to, with much better quality cinemas. And then taking that skill set and bringing that into the home. And we're really excited because we have the founder and name of the company, Scott Cricks, coming over and visiting us for that time. And Scott has been doing this since the mid-70s.
50 years.
Yeah.
50 years next year.
Is it?
Yeah,
50 years next year.
Yeah.
And so we're just super excited about what he's got to say. We're creating a panel where Scott and some of our other guests can talk about it. But I can't wait to see Scott and hear what he's got, because he's been there. He's been there when he was building the products and building the brands with all the major format guys and everything like that. And I really can't wait to hear his stories and what he's...
Especially, somebody that's worked with THX and Lucasfilm and Dolby from the early 80s, late 70s, when surround sound was being born. He was out there talking to these guys and building his speakers for them. So the infinite baffle wall, he invented the first infinite baffle wall. So he's pioneering in the cinema industry.
And just perhaps, I think, honestly, not that's not really known over here, is it? Because it is has been typically a Southern Hemisphere thing.
Absolutely.
So the opportunity for him to fly all the way over and tell us about it, that's really good. And then the other biggie, which is really exciting as well, and I think you opened it up the other day, didn't you? Is Mad VR, and Rick Latowski is coming over, and he's making the trip over from America. He's the CEO and founder, and that's super exciting. We haven't got it in here yet, have we?
No,
it will be. No, wait.
It's coming. We're installing right at the end of this month. It's being installed and calibrated and set up, so that'll be good to go by the event. Also, Rick's bringing a second unit that we're going to have out on the show floor, so he'll be out there meeting people and talking to people and showing them how amazing that product is. It's just, I've unboxed the one we've got coming here, and it's luxury. It looks like it should be doing 1,000 miles an hour sat in the box. It's just incredible. I love it.
No, it's super exciting, and it's getting a lot of
it's really exciting.
stuff. It's really buzzing around. It's won a lot of awards and everything like that. So I think those are two massive things alone. But there's you know what, we can go on for ages, and I think we're probably going to wrap up soon. So I think you know, hey, that's brilliant. So you know, I'd say, I don't know if we do a link or whatever we do on the back of this
registration for the event.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So go
visionuk.com.
Yeah, and go to our events page, and it's on there. Register up, please. It's going to be a great event, and we'll feed you well and treat you nicely. So,
and give you freebies.
And give you freebies, of course.
Good freebies. Good freebies.
Good, awesome freebies. So, Ian, that's a great insight. Thanks for that. And really I think, you know, it's good to you know, get out what we did here. I think it's really special, and well done, mate.
It'd be interesting because obviously listening all to the podcasts, it'd be interesting to see how this one sounds back, because it sounds like the others are not in a similar acoustic.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So it'd be really interesting to see how this sounds back.
Yeah, and maybe then we can do them from here all the time.
Yeah, there you go.
And then maybe we can watch the Elvis film afterwards.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone else will be up for that. Everyone's up.
Definitely.
Yeah, cool.
Well, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And great job, by the way. Great job. So thank you for listening. This is Turn Up the Tech is available on all good streaming platforms. Available on YouTube, going to Envision UK. And please follow us on all our socials, where you'll find out about events, just stuff going on and things that we're happening and doing. And then search at Envision UK. Thank you very much. Till next time. Take care.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.